Okay, we are live. We are live, Brian Partee. It has been a while since
Hey, do you ever
Thanksgiving.
watch Saturday Night Live? Hey,
In
do you ever watch Saturday Night Live, Sabrina?
Only in replays. I heard the question, but I had to be honest about it. Only when the little highlights.
Okay, well, there's a long time ago when Ben Affleck was the guest host, and he was there. He was pretending to be a DJ, and he and Jimmy Fallon were going back and forth as a DJ. And I always think when you and I go into this, the way they did it, they it's Saturday Night Live. They over exaggerate stuff, and they say when they say that we're back, and every time that we do our stuff together, I always want to say it like they do. We're back. It's gay. It's S&B Masterminds. We're back.
You're back. Oh, thank
It
you
was
for
awesome
asking.
because they take a commercial and stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah. So I wanted to
but
say thank you for the
listen,
grace because for those who don't know, I've been sick, very, very sick. So Brian's been
yes,
handling a lot of the back end stuff. So we're going to talk about today um, when donors stop giving.
right. Now I don't
And
want to get too far into because this leads into something. We're gonna also one of our upcoming ones is talking a little bit about some stewardship, quick stewardship,
mhm,
but it's stewardship nonetheless. Why do donors stop giving? They don't feel appreciated. There you go. There you go. Let's next. I mean, that's the big thing that people have to realize that you've always heard the saying they talk about that just business that it's easier to retain an employee than it is to get new employees. It's
yep,
easier to retain customers than it is to get new customers because the current employees know you and want to work with you and stuff like that. And the
right.
cost for acquisition is a lot higher. So that's what happens. What happens when you stop getting donors? We have regular donors. In fact, I've got a customer that I'm working with right now who said, Brian, here's our donor lapsed list. They have software and stuff, and it produces donors that they haven't gotten from in a long time. Now, I mean, what are the reasons for this? Give me some reasons, Serena.
Well, I think that donors start giving you're correct because they're not appreciated. But I also think there's a factor of that if you don't strengthen the relationships between the first time gift, then they're going to
Mm-hmm.
stop giving. You know why? Because I've seen this too many times where I I'm giving because Brian asked me. I know nothing about this organization, but I know Brian, and Brian asked me. He's
Right.
doing this peer to peer, so I'm going to give. And then the organization fails to build a relationship with me. So if Brian, for whatever reason, is not asking for that organization anymore, I'm not giving to that organization. That's one. And I've seen this one
Hey,
too. Yes.
go ahead. I was going to say you were lagging for a second there, so that's a
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry, I don't know
not
what's going
not
on
not
with it.
there's not the illness related. I was going to say that's okay, but
It's
yeah, you're right.
internet related.
Well, that
I got one more
there's
for you.
that.
Okay. Yeah, I got one more
Tell
that
me.
I think of. The other one that I think of why donors start giving, and I've had this happen to me. You know, they change their focus. That's one. People can change their focus. And another one that I've seen in my career that is, 90% of it is the appreciation thing. But the other percentage of it is who asked them and their donor experience. And sometimes they change their priorities. That's what I've seen to be the case.
Other stuff to keep in mind, and because I want to take off on this one too. Changing lifestyle. Obviously, I lose a job, so I can't give. Divorce or
Yeah.
death. Now, this is where death comes in. Who lives longer? You or me? In most cases, men or women. Who lives longer?
Women.
Women. That's right. You live longer. Women live longer than men. And how many times do you see people do, to Mr. and Mrs. Brian Partee?
Yep.
Just for the record, my wife makes more money than I do. My wife is awesome, but everything is to Mr. Brian Partee. It's a very man world, very man centric world.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times what's happening, we heard this story. Sabrina and I could tell you, have heard this story a million times through Boys and Girls Club of, we always used to give to the Boys and Girls Club, but that was my husband's charity. You guys
Right.
didn't send me anything. It was
Yeah.
important to him.
Yeah.
So it's really, really important. So when we're talking about losing donors and oh my gosh, I've lost donors, are you addressing the whole family? Is it the Walker Hernandez's? Is it the Partees? Or is it just Brian? You know, that's part of what you also see. You want to make sure that the both people feel good. I mean, by the way, it goes first and foremost, like Sabrina's been saying a lot, is the appreciation. We appreciate your gift. You're helping us make changes in the world. You know, whatever our mission is, again, whether it's saving animals, saving kids, helping the homeless, building homes, whatever. You're part of that solution. You want people to know that. But the other part is you've got to make sure that both members of the family are in on this. It is Mr. and Mrs. Ryan and Karen Partee.
Yes, I'll say this. That's one of the very reasons why I am hyphenated, and I don't know why it didn't scream out to me, but I'm hyphenated Walker Hernandez because for some reason people just, they disregard the women. And if you look at my family dynamics, I am the generous one. My husband is not at all. So if you want anything, you better come to me. And I have to convince him. But I actually have a separate pot of money that is my charitable giving money because he doesn't go for it at all. So people need to kind of know that too. It's really funny, but just like you said, I give, and a lot of times, even though it's me that's giving, Brian, people will still send a thank you card to Mr. and Mrs. Hector and Sabrina Walker Hernandez, and I'm going, he didn't do nothing.
Well, yeah, but here's the good. At least the good part about that one is your name is in there because there's so many times you just see that the man. Like I said, it's not. We have received stuff that. Okay, I'll give you an even better story of terrible stewardship. Karen and I have been married 26 years, so we've been married a long time. We're a pair for sure. Karen went to Texas Tech, graduated from Texas Tech. Texas Tech sends stuff to Mr. Brian Partee and family, and she's Karen's the one who went there. I didn't go to school in Texas. I went to school in California. So unfortunately, that's one of the big things when you say you get going back to what we're talking about, losing donors, lapsed donors, is how do you appreciate them? And appreciate them could be, like you said, updating them. Just, hey, here's what we're doing. Sending them stuff, gifts. You don't always have to say gifts because some people get upset with gifts because I'd rather more money go to the mission than you buy me a pen. I get it. That's fair. But
I always say gifts, just to insert a little bit and I'll stop. But I always say gifts are not marketing promotional materials. Gifts are something that brings it back to the mission. I mean, in our line of business with youth, it's a picture drawn by a kid. It's something made by a kid.
Right.
So that's the way you got to think about this. And one more thing, because I know you're ready to go and get on your thing. You just reminded me of something. I have a donor that his name is or was donor. He's a great fan now. His name is Byron. If you
is that your excuse for why you always send me Byron stuff?
Exactly, because he nailed it into my soul. If you send him anything that doesn't have Byron on it and it has Brian on it, you have forever lost him as a donor.
Yeah. So that's okay. So again, what Sabrina was saying is, and what I started saying too in the same concept is, it's the appreciation. It's the intentionality of sending stuff to a donor, not to say where there's nothing on your postcard or on your email that says, and click here to donate now. No. We don't want you to think you're our ATM. We want you to think you're part of our solution. And to me, that's what's really important about when you have your donor relations, is doing that. And then also there's a follow-up. When you've had a donor for a long time, those are the people you take out for coffee. You try to find their birthdays, their wedding anniversaries. I mean, I had a list of, it was just a spreadsheet, but it would be like main donor. And in a lot of the cases of the people I met were men. It'd say, Fred Jones, and then say spouse. I'd have a spouse column, and it'd say Michelle Jones. And the next one, I'd have the kids' names in order of their age, stuff like that. Oh, how's Billy's first year in college at Ohio State? Whatever. That shows them that you take enough time to invest in them, that they want to invest in you. It gives you kind of a warm, fuzzy feeling. It's kind of, Is it a little bit of sucking up? Yeah, a little bit it is, but it makes you, and it helps, ultimately it gets down to helping your mission. And like you were just saying a minute ago, it all comes down to your mission, though, that you have to make sure that they know ultimately. It's great that I know their names, and great that I know their birthdays, and happy birthday, and here's a card signed by the kids, or, a paw print of a dog on a thing, and Fido says happy birthday, and all those kind of things. And that's really cool, and it's really unique.
Yeah.
But ultimately, though, then it also comes down to your end of the year reporting, not end of the year asking, end of the year reporting, because they're going to want to know that, if I could lose a donor, because if I say, oh yeah, we brought in $800,000 and we have $700,000 in the bank, well, you didn't spend that money on your mission then. I mean, I'm not saying go broke, don't spend $1 million and go $200,000 in debt, but you spend $100,000 out of $800,000 to try to help kids or help animals or help build homes or do homeless shelters or whatever, feed the hungry, whatever. And you only spend $100,000 of it? That kind of sucks too. So you got to make sure you educate them. First of all, you got to obviously do your job and fulfill your mission, but you got to let them know how you're spending that money, how you're helping the world get better and whatever their area, whatever your area of focus is, whatever their interest is. Those are the kinds of things you've got to do, but it's constant contact with staying in touch with your donors and letting them know, I'm spending your money the right way. I love you guys. I love Josephine, and I love Craig, and I love Melinda, and I love your family, and I hope everything's well. Love what you're doing. Come see us, stop by, little things like that. But that's what it comes down to, is letting them know what you're doing and how you're doing it. And
So as you're talking, what I hear in my head, and I want to help those that may be thinking like this. I hear, okay, that's how I get donors to not stop giving. But what happens if I didn't do any of those things and now they have stopped giving? What should I do?
Right.
So should I do a list? Okay, here are the top, 100 donors stop giving. Who should I focus on now, and what should I do with them? What would be some quick advice that you have around that?
First of all, yeah, I would personally, the way I would do it when I had a lapsed donor. First of all, you don't want to hound them. Come on, man. We need you to give. Come on, man. You don't ever want to beat that horse. So you just say, I would pick a time, probably like after the holidays when it's not super busy, March. Let's just say March, and say, hey, notice you haven't been around, you haven't been a donor. We'd love to talk to you still. Are you still interested? I mean, I would be, a little bit of eating crow on my part. We really need you. We're doing great things, kind of vague in general, but so you have the opportunity to go in and talk to them. And in that case, for people you've lost, people like to feel important too. And if I say, hey, Sabrina, can I get an appointment with you on Thursday at 2? I just want to tell you what we're doing at, the Brian's Animal Shelter and how we're saving animals. Because I know you've been a donor before, and maybe we didn't do enough thank you notes to you. Maybe we didn't do, maybe things changed, but I just want to keep you updated on what we're doing, kind of thing. That's how I would do it. Now you approach it again. You approach it not with your hand. I always do this. Now you can see it because we're on camera, but I try not to, when I talk to people and talk to my customers about how we want to do this, I say we don't go like this. We go like this. So it's a handshake versus I need money.
Give me money.
Put me right here. No, exactly. That's not what it is. Because if you have the handshake and you're doing the handshake part right, the money will follow. Other than, like I said, changing lifestyle, divorce, we're moving, lost my job, death in family, something like that. Aside from that, people generally give. I mean, I learned one thing when I was lucky enough to do the Harvard Business School program through Boys and Girls Club. One of the things I learned, because the resources at Harvard were amazing, was that if you steward your people the right way and you continually tell them thank you and stuff like that, unless there's a change in life, again, job loss, death, moving, that kind of thing, 98.5% of the time, they'll stick with you. They'll stick with you. So it comes down to what it comes down to. If you've lost donors, apologize. You want to talk to them, say, hey, I'm sorry. And then say, eventually, don't go right back and go, and I want you to be a donor.
Right.
Pace yourself out and say, we miss you.
It's very interesting because I had this situation a couple of years ago, and actually it was two Boys and Girls Clubs. and I was a monthly giver to both of those organizations. And I remember being very offended because I didn't hear from them all month. I mean, all year, nothing. And
Mm-hmm.
I only heard from them in December when they were asking for an additional gift. We know better. We've
Right.
been trained better.
Right.
So because I knew those CEOs, I picked up the
Yep.
phone and I called them and I had a conversation with them. One organization changed their
Yep.
behavior.
Because you don't want. I
One
mean,
did
again,
not.
don't want to be
Yeah,
right.
one did not. One did not change their behavior. I stopped giving to one organization. I
Right.
continue to give to another organization, to the other organization, because now, you know what? I get their monthly newsletter, even if sometimes I don't read it. I still get it, right? They still let me know what's going on. They will send 4 snail mail mailings a year: Christmas, update at summertime, they also send one right at the beginning of the year. And so they have a schedule and they're following through and they're doing it. Whereas the other one, they acknowledged that they hadn't sent anything, but they never changed their behavior. And this one over here, this was an ACH. So I had to be pretty upset to go cancel an automatic draft from my bank. This one was a credit card. And I renewed the credit card and I continue to renew the credit card. So you just got to treat people like they're human beings. That's what this is about. Because people will stop giving if they feel like an ATM machine. And I'm in this game, and I very much felt like an ATM machine. There must be
I
a
agree with you there. I agree with you there.
delay because I see your face. Is there a computer delay? There he is.
Yes, there is. You were holding this pose for I'd say for a good 20 seconds.
Got it. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm like, is there a delay? Well, hopefully, the people on the other end is not seeing that delay. It's fine for me. Sometimes you're slightly delayed, but it's good information that you're giving, Brian. It's good discussion. I don't know how you want to wrap it up when donors stop giving.
Yep. Let's cut it. I would say that we want everybody to know, again, commercial. Here's the commercial part. We want everybody to know that this is kind of stuff that you'll get from the S&B Masterminds. It's self investment it's for investing in yourself. It will allow you to, if you are working with a nonprofit, if you run a nonprofit, it'll allow you to get a lot of knowledge that Sabrina and I have acquired over, like I said, half a century of together of work, whether it's talking about doing a stewardship, writing a stewardship plan, going after grants, working with your board, working with your staff, doing your events more efficiently, any of those things. We're going to cover all that stuff in 1 year on everything that we can do to help you guys, because I'll be the first to admit it. I mean, I love doing what I'm doing. I got to work from my house. I can, take my laptop down to Starbucks, get some coffee and write grants and stuff like that. So I'm enjoying that part of the job, but I do miss the hands-on, especially when I was in the club, not seeing the kids every day and giving them the high fives and stuff like that. So knowing that I have the opportunity to help you help others. That's my tagline for the nonprofit marketplace. That's what I always say, helping you help others. It allows me, makes me feel kind of good. The same, I say this a lot. You don't get into nonprofit work to get rich. You do it to make the world a better place. And one of the things that, if I can't be the, 1 degree of separation, like I was at being the CEO of a Boys and Girls Club, where I can, directly help the kids that I see, I like to know that I'm helping food instability in Ghana, or that I'm helping a Boys and Girls Club in California, or I'm helping a medical foundation in Atlanta. That reach is also really cool, because if we can help you, and if if one of my ideas and one of our ideas helps you just a little bit get more customers that you're serving for your mission, for your nonprofit, then I feel like I'm doing part of the job. I'm part of that solution. So that's my pitch. Hope you join us if you go visit us on nonprofitmasterminds. Did we do .com or .org? .com, right?
.com, I do believe, but I also scrolling across the bottom is an
There you go.
alternate.
Yeah, that's the direct one. But check it out. Join us. We have limited space. We're not going to take too many people. We don't want to oversaturate it. We'll only take 700. No, taking 700. We're doing we're doing the Walmart theory of business. We're going to do 5,000 people. No, I'm just kidding. But we'll help you all. We'll help you all individually. Hope to see you sign up. Hope you see us on our next. What do we call it? This isn't the podcast.
Not really. Real talk with Sabrina and Brian. It's
real
live
talk.
streams. It's real
live
talk.
streaming. Live streaming. Real
so
talk.
We hoping to stay a little bit consistent with these. And
yes, and we've been consistent. No, when we've been very consistent, other than you were sick, and that's circumstantial. So all good.
So
all good.
Guys, I don't know if y'all know my background, but that's another reason why I'm so excited about this mastermind. Is because it's stressful being a nonprofit CEO, and if you don't take care of yourself, it will turn into dis-ease in your body. And so this is going to help you manage some of that stress. So with that, we'll see you on the next go round. Peace out. Sorry about any tech issues. Bye-bye.